Good afternoon, everyone. I am Sharon Porter. I'm the Senior Vice President of Public Relations with Enlivian. And today I have the pleasure to be joined with Chris Campbell, our Senior Vice President of Partnerships. Chris, I'm sure I've messed that up.
That's fine.
But you oversee all of our partnerships, Chris.
That's it.
And attorney Kenneth Snow with the Snow Legal Group. Today, we're talking about Know Your Rights 101. And you're going to have information that we can all benefit from. When you're more educated about what your rights are, you can have what we hope is a better experience and a better interaction. So we're just going to get right into it. What, if you were to think of, give us 3 things that we need to know, top 3 things that we should know if we're getting pulled over or stopped by a police officer?
You know, that's an interesting question because what first comes to mind is someone's safety. I mean, our rights we know we have rights, but the main thing that comes to mind is I want to make sure that human being goes back to his or her home, goes back to his or her family. And so if he or she asks me for my license and registration, I will inform them that, hey, my license and registration is in my glove box or in my center console. And if you have a weapon, if you have a concealed weapons permit, you should always tell them that you have a concealed weapon. If you have a concealed weapons permit, that is the safest way. You are required to give them your license and registration, but that's being cooperative. So that's how we'll handle that.
How much do we have to share?
I say less is best, quite frankly. You don't have to share anything with them other than give them your license and registration. But so they don't have a right to know where you're going or where you're coming from. That's not pertinent to them as to why they're stopping you. And first, let me say this: I don't have anything against law enforcement. Nothing against the men and women in blue. No. But you do have rights, and if a police officer or law enforcement has to ask you permission to do it, that means they need your consent. If they search your vehicle or search your person and they don't have the necessary requirements, or meet the necessary requirements to search you or search your vehicle, then they're in violation of the 4th Amendment, which means simply, if they find something in your vehicle or on your person and they didn't have meet the requirements to search you or search your vehicle, that evidence is thrown out.
What would you say are some of the biggest mistakes that people make when they encounter a police officer, whether it's in a vehicle or just maybe in a store or something? What are some of the biggest mistakes you see people make?
Talking too much. I would say a good percentage of my clients would not be my clients if they were simply shut up. You have a right against to protect yourself against self-incrimination. So you don't have to admit to anything. You don't have to talk. You don't have to say anything. So be mindful.
We are going to kick off in February with the topic around expungement. And I know that I've been asked so many times about expungement and what qualifies for it, when to do it, when you can and cannot do it. There's just so much information around expungement. Can you just give a little preview of what folks have in store in terms of that topic in February when you talk about that? Just maybe a little preview around what that's all about.
Now, things are a lot more liberal in North Carolina, so people are able to get expungements a lot easier.
Chris, what do you see from our residents? Like, what are the challenges that you see our residents have because of things on their record?
Oh, wow. First of all, jobs. The challenge with being able to secure employment when you have to check that box that you've been, it's the thing you check whether you've been convicted of an offense, but even if you don't check the box that you haven't been convicted, still when the background check is done, the charge might be there, and that may sway the decision of the person doing the hiring. So I would say that's one of the biggest things that we see is the challenge relative to gaining employment when you have something on your record.
I would encourage you, if you can, to seek advice relative to getting expungement or learn more about that, because that can mean the difference between you getting the job and not.
Attorney Snow, Chris, thank you for your time here today. You can see all of the social media for the Snow Group. We look forward to this partnership. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
And we want everyone to stay safe this weekend. Take care. Have a good one.
Absolutely. My pleasure.